Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're doing well today. I'm going to be drinking another non-alcoholic beer today. Carrying on with my quest of looking for good sort of non-alcoholic alternatives to the beer. Some of you know I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. It's going really well so far, but I need to continue doing it. And I've found a brewery from East London. They're called Nirvana. And I'm going to be drinking their Bavarian Hell's Lager. It's coming in at 0.3% ABV. Nirvana Brewery, they're from, say, Leighton in East London. They are apparently the UK's only dedicated non-alcoholic brewery. So they don't just brew a lager, they brew IPAs, they brew pale ales. I've heard very, very good things about them. They've even got one of their great taste marks on their bottle. I picked this particular bottle up in the Creative Juices Brewery, their tap room bar, when I was there a few weeks back. And yeah, I've never had anything from these guys, so I thought I'd try it. I like the artwork. That is their logo, which I think is very cool. These guys have been around since 2016, quite highly thought of. And if this is good, then I'm going to get a few more of their beers, I think. It's even got the Reinheitsgebot written on the top of it. So obviously it's brewed in accordance with the German purity law, if that will focus. But it says it on there. The Reinheitsgebot doesn't seem to want to focus, but there you go. Written in German. So this is their take on the Bavarian Hells. So there we go. Yeah, Nirvana Brewery, Leighton Industrial Village. This bottle has just over 60 calories in it, which is a win. Low in calories, vegan friendly. It's got water, barley malt, hops and yeast in it, and that is all she wrote. So yeah, let's get this lager out, see if it's any good. Hoping it's going to be good. Lovely bit of smoke on the opening there, still smoking away. She's trying to get out. But I've had one or two non-alcoholic lagers, and I've not always been that impressed with them. I think the only non-alcoholic lager I can say off the top of my head that I've actually really enjoyed is Lucky Saint. So I'm hoping that this one's going to be half decent. So I've got an alternative. Apparently my glass is absolutely filthy. Do apologise for that. That's not good, especially for a lager. There we go, rinse off some of that. Here's a look at the lager. That looks fantastic. That has got a solid one, almost 2 finger, creamy white head on it, crystal clear, lovely gold colour. Look at the carbonation rushing up on that. That is exactly how you want a lager to look. That looks fantastic, it really does. Yeah, beautiful gold colour, mass carbonation, lovely white head, which is not in a rush to disappear anywhere. Let's get me snout in, see what the aroma's telling us. Malty, bready malt. It smells like a German Helles. Touch of sweetness to it, touch of citrus sweetness, like a honeyed lemon thing going on. At the same time though, you can tell it's a non-alcoholic beer. It has that sort of slightly savoury note. I've compared it to dog biscuits in the past. Doesn't really sound good when you say it like that. You're getting the malt, you're getting a sort of a Bavarian Heller's malt aroma. Do you know what, the more I smell it, the worse it's getting. This isn't good. It started off quite nice, now it's kind of going savoury. Now it's starting to smell a little bit fishy. I'm very confused. This one's good until the middle of the summer, good until July, this one. It's taking on a little, it's taking on a bit of a tuna fish aroma now. I've never smelled anything quite like this before. Savoury, fishy, malty, all in one. I've got no idea what to expect from this now, but let's get stuck in. Cheers. And it has that slightly weird, slightly chemically overly sweet, sort of artificially sweet flavour that you do get from a lot of non-alcoholic beers. I'm not sure I like it. Light-bodied, as you'd imagine. Gentle carbonation. Touch of citrus, bit of lemongrassy flavour. Bit of lime. And then when you get to the mid palate where the malt should take over, sort of bready malt. With a German Helles, you often get sort of a bread and butter kind of slight touch. There, instead of getting bread and butter, I'm getting something that's trying to imitate that flavour for me. It's trying to do that. It's trying to do that sort of bready malt. But without the alcohol, it falls short. I'm not sure of the technique that's involved in brewing non-alcoholic beers. I need to look into it a little bit more. But there's some beers that do it really well. And then there's some that you can spot the difference a mile off. Non-alcoholic to alcoholic. It's quite sticky. I feel like it's sort of clawing at the back of my throat a little bit. At the back end, there's very little to speak of. There's next to no bitterness, no real character from any hops or anything that might have gone into this. Barley, malt, hops, yeast, water, that's all that's in it. It's all you want in a Bavarian lager. It's just a bit weird. It just tastes a bit weird. It's very refreshing. It's very light. But it's that mid to end palate, mid to back end of the palate, where you want that lovely bready malt character to come in, maybe a touch of honey, butter on bread, and maybe a touch of bitterness from the hops. Instead, there's this all-out, slightly artificial savoury note that just leaves a slightly weird aftertaste. It's not unpleasant. It just stops shy of being unpleasant, but it's noticeably different. If you were drinking a legit Bavarian Helles lager, you'd get that sort of touch of sweetness at the beginning, that bit of citrus, that refreshing edge. But then you'd get that bready malt, and with this, you never quite get that. It goes into this slightly weird, artificial. They've got to do something, right? It's non-alcoholic, so it's refreshing enough, but it's not as good as Lucky Saint. Lucky Saint is a lot better. Lucky Saint managed to, for me, stay away from that slightly sort of dog biscuit savoury note, which I'm getting with this, which is a shame, because it's not overpowering, that savouriness. It's not overpowering, but it's there, it's noticeable. You put that up against Lucky Saint. The Lucky Saint did quite amazingly well to avoid that. Yeah, it's not great, unfortunately, for me. It's refreshing. It's low in calories. So, thumbs up for that. But it's just not a very good lager. It's not a very good, what's the word? Substitute for a good lager. It's just not really. So, I can't really give it great scores. But I say, apart from the fact it's low in calories and it's got no alcohol in it, and it still probably tastes better than drinking a Coke, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I'll be generous. So 4 out of 10 for me. So Nirvana Brewery with their Bavarian Helles Lager, 0.3% ABV, 4 out of 10 for me. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Till our next one, you take care.